And this year we have chosen the topic of artificial intelligence. So we've had several debates on this topic, and now this is the last one. So we're going to get into it here, so hopefully we can get this one in during this class. But the topic of this debate is, on balance, computer technology improves humanity. On balance, computer technology advances humanity. So if anyone takes this class, you'll see like the wording of it is pretty important, the wording of all of the prompts. So we have Tanner and Hannah on one side. This is the pro side. And then on the con side, we've got Sydney and Robert. So let's give them your attention, and good luck, everybody.
Good morning. My name is Tanner Worthing. Before I begin the affirmative side of this debate, I would like to make some thank yous. First, I would like to thank my partner for working on this debate with me. I'd also like to thank our opponents for agreeing to debate with us. And lastly, I'd like to thank Mr. Naylor for providing these great topics of debate. My partner Hannah and I are on the affirmative side of this debate, saying that on balance, computer technology advances humanity. For the purposes of this debate, we offer the following definitions. First, we'd like to define the distinction between a regular debate and an on-balance debate. In an on-balance debate, like this one, both teams acknowledge that the other has valid points. We're not here to convince you that computer technology has done nothing but advance technology. However, my partner and I will prove to you that overall, the effect of computer technology on humanity has been positive. Next, I'd like to define humanity. Humanity is all things that make us human, the things that separate us from animals. In this debate, my partner and I have divided humanity into three categories. These are, in our opinion, the most important aspects of humanity: connectivity, intelligence, and morality. Throughout the course of this debate, we would like you to consider these aspects and how they advance computer technology. To put this into proper perspective, we'd like you to view this debate through the lens of human nature. Keeping this in mind, computer technology has advanced connectivity, intelligence, and morality. To begin with, computer technology has advanced connectivity. One of the most important aspects of being a human being is our communication and connection in society. In today's world, with computer technology thriving, you can communicate with all people around the world. You can send messages via email or Facebook. You can even see a person and talk to them live through video chat using programs like Skype. I grew up in a military family. My brother was in the Marine Corps, and my sister was an officer in the Army. We would receive letters every few months during the duration of their deployments. Although we loved letters, they weren't the same as when we could instant message them and get replies in minutes. But the truly sublime moments were when we were able to finally see their faces. It wasn't often, but a video chat with them was quite incredible. This computer technology was able to hold our family together. This happened all over the world with all different types of families. Computer technology vastly expanded not only our country's connectivity, but our whole world's connectivity. Connectivity and intelligence go hand in hand when talking about our world's view on different ethnicities. Through the means of computer technology, as a world, we have been able to communicate with people of different ethnic groups. We can talk to people from these areas. With communication, we learn about other people's worlds. We also communicate with incredibly knowledgeable people we would have never met before. Our intelligence of people's customs has broadened exponentially through computer technology. We also have incredible search engines to bring up millions of results. Anything you would like to know more about can be typed in, and millions of results can be at your fingertips. Articles, newspapers, blogs, research papers. Research that would have taken days, weeks, and even months to find in different libraries can be now found in minutes. This new intelligence advances us to a whole new level as humans. Humanity has become smarter through this computer technology. With computer technology improving our intelligence, it has also improved morality. We now can see what people are doing around the world. We can see what the world views as right and wrong. This computer technology has advanced our ability to set proper values. Each day, people are able to see what great things are going on in the world, things that used to be hard to come by in a newspaper or magazine. In summary, computer technology has greatly advanced human life. Although there are many places or times where it has hurt us, on balance, it has greatly helped us. The good far outweighs the bad. Through the lens of human nature, the aspects of connectivity, intelligence, and morality stand out boldly as being advanced, showing that on balance, computer technology advances humanity. Thank you.
Not good. Where is he?
I don't know. He's gone.
Okay. Hello and welcome, and thank you for coming to today's debate selection. For those of you just coming in, today's topics all fall under the umbrella of artificial intelligence, or AI for short. As you have just heard from my opponent, today's resolve is as such, that on balance, computer technology advances humanity, of which my partner, Robert Van Kirk, and I, Sydney Patterson, will be on the negative, saying that it is not true. Before I begin, I would like to define terms of the resolve. On balance, meaning all things considered. Computer technology, which we define as any electronic device for storing, processing data, for application of scientific knowledge, and for practical purposes. And humanity, which in other words is the human race, or human beings collectively. I would also like to ask the audience to view our argument through the lens of well-being. I will now introduce the con side of this resolve. There are many instances historically, and even today, of things done with good intentions that have gone terribly wrong. Maybe you've shielded your friend from the truth in hopes of saving their feelings, only to have them lose their faith in you. Or maybe you wanted to bake a cake for your family, only to burn it and to make a mess of your kitchen with no reward to show for it. French philosopher, journalist, and founder of absurdism philosophy, Albert Camus, once said that the evil in the world is almost always coming of ignorance, and good intentions may do just as much harm as malevolence if they lack understanding. I shared this selection with you as a relevant comparison to computer technology, a prime example of something desired for good that has gone to evil. Computer technology as a whole does not advance the human race. Let me make myself clear. My partner and I agree that computer technology has been and can potentially be used for constructive purposes. However, there are certain undeniable backward uses and effects of computer technology that many would agree outweigh the good. The list of instances where computer technology does not advance humanity would be endless if my partner Robert and I were to name them all, but rather we will present those we find most damaging. Of these are the decline in human health, both social, mental, and physical, the terrible instances where technology has put the human race in grave danger and destruction, and finally, how technology has disrupted our environment, thus setting back those who inhabit it, the human race, and accompanying races. While my partner will further elaborate on computer technology's effects on the world and crisis instances, I chose to explain the personal effects of computer technology. Computer technology has failed to advance humanity for the implications it has on the health of the individuals. Now I know what you're thinking. Technology has brought us so much success in the field of health. What with our medicines, how much we know about the human body, and my partner and I agree. It's 2018 and the quality of life is pretty good, right? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but humanity has been preyed upon by the beast of computer technology. Has it brought us good as a whole? In some ways, yes, but take a closer look at the parts. Let's focus on our youth. Our youth, and even into the adults, are suffering from serious social deficiencies at the hand of computer technology. How many times do you see a crying child at a restaurant only to be silenced by, no, not the parent, the device? Pediatric therapist Chris Rowan put it simply, we're seeing a very, very young children being given these devices to soothe them and to entertain them, and it is displacing the connection within the parent, said Rowan. We're seeing escalating diagnoses of all sorts of mental illness in children, and when we think of what mental illness is, it's children that aren't happy and aren't well adjusted. As children and parents are attaching more and more to technology, they're detaching from each other, which also applies to my opponent's lens. As children and parents, and we know as children and parents are attaching more and more to technology, they're detaching from each other, and we know as species that we need to connect. We're really pack animals. We need to be connected to other human beings. That's just a fact of any living organism. It doesn't do well when they're on their own. Without that connection, we can no longer go forward, but actually maybe even be going backwards. So let's fast forward. These children, not only socially deficient, are statistically more likely to go on to struggle with obesity later in life, which can only lead to further health problems down the road. Now you may be thinking, how is there a correlation between overweight and use of computer technology? Studies produced by Obesity Action have concluded a direct link from technology use to the obesity crisis in America. Over 9 million youth are affected by obesity in the U.S., and of those 9 million, 70% or so of them will likely continue to have those problems into the rest of their life and will struggle with accompanying health risks such as type 2 diabetes. Here again, we see technology, in some cases, used to improve health, and in many others, making its best efforts to hinder its advancement. If so many individuals in our society are lacking a quality of health so early and so long into life, how much is technology truly advancing us as a people? And so finally, with a lack of social and physical well-being would of course accompany a lack of mental well-being. Possibly the worst symptom of the illness that is computer technology overuse is the direct link to depression. In a study conducted at the University of Gothenburg's Sahlgrenska Academy on 4,100 young adults between the ages of 20 and 40 had such findings. Heavy cell phone use showed an increase in sleep disorders in men and an increase in depressive symptoms in both men and women. Those constantly accessible via cell phones were the most likely to report mental health issues, and frequently using a computer without breaks further increases the risk of stress, sleeping problems, and depressive symptoms in women. So as you can see, the upbringings of the new generation under the control of computer technology is damaging to humanity more so than it would be to be found beneficial. And through the lens of well-being, Robert and I stand in negation of the resolve that on balance, computer technology advances humanity, as Robert will further address in his segment of today's selection. Computer technology was designed with the best of intentions, and as we are slowly beginning to see, the place that it will take us as a whole is nothing of an advancement. Thank you for your attention today, and I highly encourage you as the audience to keep your support in the negation side of this debate. Thank you.
Okay, my first question would be, how often do you use computer technology?
I would say pretty frequently, considering that we just inducted the iPads into our school environment. So even when I'm not at home using it frequently, I'm still using it frequently in school. So yes, pretty frequently.
Okay, so would you consider yourself less human than somebody of 1920?
Well, no, not necessarily in some ways. However, I find myself to be, along with a lot of people of our generation, less personable because of use of cell phones and such social media. I feel like we lack social skills because of those things. So that's where we're kind of different from those of that century. So you said that connectivity was really important for
Yes.
this topic, yes.
Yep.
Can the connectivity be used for wrongdoing?
Yes, but it could also be, even without computer technology, that's always a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So would you say that people of third world countries, say Africa, places in Africa or Haiti, that without computer technology, would you say that they're more human than you, more humane than you?
I would say that because of their lack of access to computer technology, that it's not really advancing humanity as a whole if not everyone has access to it.
Yeah, but the people who do have access to it, it's clearly advancing them.
Maybe in some ways, yes, like in the health profession, absolutely. But if you look at statistics about how many kids are getting depressed and like the suicide rates ever since like the dawn of the computer and social media, they've skyrocketed. So how is that really setting us forward if so many people are so depressive due to this that they want to die?
Well, Computers were invented in 1946. Since 1946, our life expectancy has gone up from 63 to 80.
And that's really
clear
amazing, that's impressive.
improvement.
However, like your lens of well-being, or no, excuse me, your lens of human nature, it's human nature to eventually die.
So doesn't it go against your lens of well-being by, all of our communication factors, where you can talk to anybody in the country, not even in the country, but in the world, by seeing them face to face through a lens? Doesn't
No.
that improve our connectivity and a large part of well-being?
Well, well-being also applies to quality of life. What's your quality of life if you're 83 and you can't move?
Here's the thing, without computer technology, you wouldn't even gotten to 83. On average, you would have been dead by then, even at this point.
And that's part of human
We're
nature,
working to
isn't
that.
it?
All right, let's move on to the next speaker.
Oh, where's my little hook? All right. Yeah, I did. Good morning. My name is Hannah Hornberger, and today I am representing the affirmative side of this debate along with my partner Tanner. Today we will be proving to you that on balance, computer technology advances humanity. As my partner Tanner has already told you, we would like you to view our arguments through the lens of human nature, specifically the aspects of our ability to connect with other people, our morality, and our intelligence. All of these aspects have been advanced by computer technology. In order to contextualize this debate, we should think about the lives of humans before this computer technology. In the year of 1900, America was the most affluent country in the world. It was the turn of an industrial revolution, and the American dream was growing in all of the citizens. And yet, the average child went to school for a few years to learn basic grammar and math skills, or even less than that. Most schools were one room, and the teachers rarely had extensive formal training, according to the 1900s Education Overview. Working conditions were terrible, and the workers were paid extremely low wages. The social classes in our country faced almost unparalleled social stratification. And now let's look at today. First of all, computer technology has advanced our intelligence as a species. Take, for example, higher education. About 5.8 million students are enrolled in online college courses in the USA alone. Without the aid of computer technology, many people would not have the advantages that others do. Online courses, whether middle, high, or college, broaden the variety of students that can get an education. For the student with near crippling anxiety that would prefer to stay at home, to the student who wishes to get as many extra classes in as possible, or the student who is bedridden or in a hospital, computer technology allows any variety of student to get an education. Ed Voskanian, founder and CEO of College Funding 123, calculated the average cost of online courses after other fees to be $21,100, whereas a traditional campus was found to be $42,768. Computer technology increases the availability of a quality education regardless of socioeconomic background, personal experience, or ethnicity. Computer technology also advances what needs to be learned. With the majority of jobs today requiring some form of technological education, people are forced to learn about computer technology. As the technology evolves, we have to around it. It is becoming more advanced, and we either have to advance with it or become obsolete. Look at our own school, for example. How many of our teachers do you think could successfully work an iPad before last year? Our intelligence is growing, and it is adapting due to the large wave of computer technology around us today. Second of all, computer technology has changed how humans communicate and stay connected. In the past, letters took an average of 10 days or more to reach their destination. Now we can send emails, texts, or calls in seconds. Communication via technology has connected the entire world at the press of a button. And though our opponents will tell you that we get this connection but lose our social skills, would you rather talk to someone on the other side of the country that you haven't seen in years and lose some of those valuable skills, or not talk to them at all just to keep your ability to hold eye contact? Lastly, computer technology has advanced humans in the form of our morality. Working conditions now are drastically better than before, thanks to the use of computers, which have allowed us to regulate and enforce restrictions in the working environment. The use of computer technology has also taken some of the lowest paying or poor conditioned jobs. Computer technology has also encouraged a realm of social media. This social media is creating a more self-confident and independent generation of people and changing the structure of our morality. In conclusion, computer technology has advanced humanity. We're not the same as we were 100 or even 1,000 years ago. Human nature is all of the things that make us the people that we are, which is why we ask you to see our argument in terms of human nature. It is the most important thing to all of us students sitting here right now. It is the reason we come to school, the thing that makes us volunteer for community service, want to talk to our family, and everything in between. And computer technology has definitely advanced our human nature, especially through intelligence, connectivity, and morality. Thank you.
Throughout the history of the Earth, there has never been a more technologically advanced time for humanity. In just a few seconds, you can be having a conversation with someone all the way around the world. Our social media websites and apps allow you to stay in contact with friends that you may otherwise have never kept up with. But the technology of medicine available today, people have higher life expectancies than ever. But despite all that may be going well, my partner Sydney and I, Robert, believe that computer technology is not advancing health, destroying our planet's environment, and causing significant dangers if there's ever going to be a brutal war in the future. And before I continue, I would like to reiterate our criterion, well-being. Overall, we believe that computer technology is and has the potential to hurt the well-being of humanity. To begin, new health problems have emerged with the recent access to computers. For lack of time, I will focus mainly on the major problems of video game addiction. Video game addiction has recently been characterized by the World Health Organization as a mental health disorder. Ankur Sachdeva of the Department of Psychiatry, ESIC Medical College and Hospital, and Rohit Verma of the Department of Psychiatry, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, reported in their study, Internet Gaming Addiction, a Technological Hazard, that there's a growing concern about several negative consequences associated with Internet gaming addiction. The psychological consequences vary and include difficulty in real-life relationships, disturbances in sleep, work, education, socializing, attention, academics, and memory. It may include aggression and hostility, stress, and high loneliness. And this is not a small problem, according to a 2-year longitudinal study of over 3,000 students by Dr. Douglas Gentile of Iowa State University. About 9% of total gamers are considered pathological gamers, and this seems to be a constant rate around the world based off of several samples. According to Newzoo, the world's leading provider of market intelligence covering global games and mobile markets, there were 2.2 billion active gamers in the world in 2017. So combining Dr. Gentile's reports and Newzoo's, there are almost 200 million pathological gamers in the world today. And that situation can only get worse as technology becomes more readily available to the world and older, less savvy generations die out and get replaced with newer, more tech-savvy ones. Furthermore, this addiction, as well as internet addiction, as a whole, has been linked to other problems such as attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, and depression. This is just one issue caused by computers that has set humans back. Other health issues include obesity, which has risen about 15% in the U.S. since 2000, according to the NCD Risk Factor Collaboration, poor sleeping habits, which are known to disrupt productivity, stress, which can also lead to poor sleeping habits, as well as obesity, and a lack of social skills as a result of less face-to-face interaction. To continue with recent innovations caused by the invention of the computer, it has become increasingly easier for us to destroy our planet's environment. Our world is dumping more CO2 into the atmosphere than ever before, with levels reaching over 408 parts per million. Never has this number been above 300 in human history. According to NASA, in 1950, the CO2 levels were only at 311 parts per million. So with the rise of computers came the drastic rise of CO2, causing significant undeniable climate change and sporadic weather over the last couple of decades. The CO2 has drastically hurt aquatic life as well from increasing acidity levels. Coral reefs especially are decreasing in size due to CO2 levels and increased temperatures, and they are home to 25% of aquatic life, according to the Worldwide Fund for Nature. If we continue to destroy environments around us, one day there may not be one for us to live in. Next, the population of humans has been on the drastic incline, and will continue to be aided by the power of computers. The invention of computers has drastically improved medical research, which has caused life expectancy to be at an all-time high. At first glance, this might seem fine. However, this will eventually lead to overcrowding issues in the world and a society where the elderly feed off the system, both literally in terms of food and economically due to medical costs and housing. This world is not going to be able to handle an unlimited amount of people, and computers have just accelerated our race towards future devastation. Finally, if there is ever going to be a war, our tremendous technology is going to act as a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. As of now, there are 9 nations that have developed nuclear weapons systems, and as of 2016, the total amount of these weapons worldwide is around 16,300, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. If they were to be unleashed in a brutal world war, many lives could be taken out very quickly. Besides nuclear war, newer technologies have allowed for possible devastation from biowarfare. If countries were adamantly fighting against each other, the world could easily break into chaos if major locations on electrical grids or the internet were to be targeted, both almost necessities for people of today. With our great computer technology advancements has come extreme dangers. In summary, computer technology definitely brings with it some positives. However, ultimately, it does not advance humanity and has extreme potential to hurt our well-being. It has led to mental and health problems, environmental problems, as well as posing many dangers for the future of planet Earth. So much so that it has caused people like Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk to worry tremendously about our future.
All right, let's go.
No, sorry.
Okay. I'll start. Do you have the number of people addicted to games?
200 million.
Okay, but does that overshadow all of the people that have been cured of cancer or saved by vaccines that computers have given us?
I hate to say it, but curing people of these diseases has led to overpopulation issues, and one day that is going to snap.
So you think that it's more important to us? You think that more people is bad? I understand that.
It's eventually, don't you think that the world is going to reach maximum capacity?
Yes, I see the environmental aspect of it, but you're talking about human lives and how they shouldn't be there, that they don't deserve them just because it might have an effect on the environment.
Yes, but this effect on the environment has caused climate change, which could ultimately lead to our total destruction.
Okay, so do you care more about the polar ice caps or people who are alive due to these vaccines and technology? As computer technology grows, there is a very real possibility of moving humanity to other planets. No matter what we do, humanity will always increase and the population will grow, no matter what we do with computers.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking said recently in a BBC interview that we only have 100 years left on Earth. He's very concerned about the significant causes that climate change is going to have on our environment. Every year, our temperature is increasing at a rapid rate. As I said earlier, since 1950, the CO2 levels have gone up 100 parts per million. That's like 1/3.
Okay, could you once again connect computer technology to climate change?
Okay. So, computers are used every day in industrial situations, and they have led to humans living longer, which has led to overpopulation, and taking care of this many humans has led to increase in CO2, taking care of them.
So it's the people causing climate change. And how are
Yes.
computers making more people?
Because computers, they help keep people alive. They have helped advance medical research
Okay.
immensely.
Oh, that wasn't even that long. Yeah, right. I kind of got distracted there because he's talking about global warming. Okay, Tanner, you can ask some questions. Okay. Ask what the most important part of humanity is, and then say that.
What would you consider the biggest part of humanity? Would you say human life is? So how could you say that even though computer technology is saving lives, how is it hurting us? It's saving lives right now.
It's saving lives in the short term, but over the long term, it's going to cause mass destruction.
So you're predicting that it's going to. But right now, what's happening is the real facts.
What's happening is significant climate change, which is ultimately
Is significant climate change right now killing anybody?
no, not
No,
right
it
now.
isn't. It isn't. But you know what was
Or
killing?
I-
You know what was killing millions of people? Poor working conditions, which have now been improved through computer technology.
Can you explain how they were improved directly through computer technology?
Computer technology has led to a lot more regulation in working environments, and it has also taken a lot of the worst conditioned jobs from people that were getting paid nearly nothing or in very dangerous conditions. So it has increased the working conditions for the average person because they no longer have to do those jobs that are basically gonna get them killed. All right, you can ask a question, not you.
So I have one question that might turn into other things, but how is computer technology advancing humanity as a whole when it's holding so many people back as far as mental health, physical health, social health?
Isn't it better to have people who are addicted to a game, as you said about video games, isn't it better to have them addicted to a game than having extreme health problems? Because our solutions through computer technology, don't they outweigh the addictiveness?
Not necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't really know because I've never lived with an addiction, but I would say that living with an addiction could be equally and should be treated as such as any other disability.
Okay, we agree that computer technology obviously has its flaws, and video game addiction is one of them. Yet, whenever we're looking at it from a health aspect, a lot of people, if it weren't for computer technology, let alone be able to be addicted to video games.
And they couldn't be here tomorrow if what could happen with computer technology does.
You're never going to be able to perfect humans and keep them from being addicted to things or getting diseases or being unhealthy.
So we should just keep putting all this to computer technology. We shouldn't take any of it upon ourselves.
We should keep using computers so that we can cure cancer instead of focusing on being addicted to video games.
Okay.
That was kind of rude. I'm so sorry.
Don't you agree that if ever there was another world war, that it would be way more brutal than any war we've ever had before?
I agree with that for many reasons that have nothing to do with computers. I don't think that computer technology is what's making world wars bad. I think it's the fact that the whole world is at war.
Computer technology greatly advanced our militarical capabilities.
Well, even so, this is all hypothetical.
No, we are definitely way ahead than we were.
And we're definitely not in a world
80 years
war
ago.
either.
Yeah, but one day we may.
We may. But with all of the things that we've gotten from computer technology, I think we just have to accept all of the benefits and hold on to the fact that there is a chance that that can happen. Ask a question.
Doesn't computer technology help the environment through energy conservation with cars like Tesla or Prius?
I would go on to say that in some ways, yes, like as far as hybrid cars, like that's amazing, like what Dr. Florence's car does, like that's crazy. But aside from that, think of how much damage it's done in the long run. Think of how we've taken oil drilling and the massive oil spills that we had on the Gulf Coast. That damage is almost irreversible. Like, have we made strides to make it better? Absolutely, yes. But it will take eternity for that to ever be reversed.
But with today's advancements using computer technology, we need to use less fuel throughout our entire industry. So isn't that slowly helping the environment?
Without computer technology in the first place, we wouldn't have had the mass problem with climate change and CO2 emissions in the first place.
Okay, I don't think we're going anywhere, so I'm going to continue with another question. All right. So we're talking about advancing humanity and all of the things that make us human as an entire race, as a species. And don't you think that exposing us to other cultures works to unify and advance us all together?
Yes, that is one point that I definitely agree on.
Oh, okay. That was the last question. I think so. I think so too. I also didn't expect him to agree with that.
Yeah.
So.
Listen, everybody, this is the last part of our debates, and we've been stopping before and letting everybody clear out, but if you guys could, just because of the time, and I know somebody is in the auditorium next, whenever the bell rings, which it will while we're in the middle of this, if you could just quietly while we
Before concluding, I would like to thank you as an audience for listening to this debate, and to my opponents for remaining both civil and open-minded over the course of these arguments. Now, I would like to address all of our opponents' points. They encourage you to see this debate through a lens of well-being. And if we're looking at it in that way, which is better to your well-being? Being alive due to your vaccines for diseases like smallpox, or being addicted to a video game, which happens to few people in the grand scheme of things? They have talked a lot about the decline in health and the decline of environmental issues. But I ask you this, what is most important to your humanity? Being able to talk to other people across the country and across the world. Being able to grow in your intelligence and have the opportunity to have the education that you have. And most importantly, being alive due to all of the medical advancements that computers have made. Once again, I would just like to encourage you to view this debate through the lens of human nature. What is it that makes us people? What is humanity? Everything that we do in our lives is affected by computer technology in some way. Our banks use computers to store money. Our hospitals use computers to track patients and diagnose illnesses. Our intelligence has grown to include technology and all of its advancements. Technology gives us a limitless display of information, as well as making education more available for everyone, and forcing people to acquire computer-related intelligence in order to succeed. Computer technology has also given us instant communication to everyone across the world. The world has been opened up at the touch of our fingertips. And finally, our morality has adapted to the new age of computer technology. Instead of being socialized only by those around us, we are now open to the entire world, and we can form our own opinions and learn what is right and wrong from a global standpoint. In the early 20th century, the newest technology was the Model T Ford. It was thought of as the first automobile open to the middle class, and soon Ford was selling them left and right. Think of the modern-day computer just as they did the car. It revolutionized humanity. We were now able to be connected with people all over the country, just like how today computer technology connects us to the rest of the world. A regular person could travel and connect to other people, and not only that, but a completely new era of science and development ensued, and the intelligence of people had to change as well. Every era has its technology that changes everything about the people in it, and this era is the era of computers. Every aspect of humanity is changing, advancing, and reforming due to this computer technology. So for these reasons, I encourage you to stand with me in affirmation of the resolved, that on balance, computer technology advances humanity. Because what do you care about more, a polar bear or your life? Thank you.
My apologies. Today, you, the audience, has heard two sides of the resolve that, on balance, computer technology advances humanity. I will first summarize the points brought about by my partner Robert and I. Through the lens of well-being, we have proven that computer technology, via way of depleting the health of individuals, holds back humanity as a whole, hindering any sort of advancement for the whole. We have offered ways computer technology has stripped our environment of its well-being, which in turn will only backfire on us, the ones who inhabit it. Our opponents, however, have asked you to view their argument through the lens of human nature, saying that through computer technology, we advance humanity through connectivity or social connection, which is a good point of seeing people around the world, but you also lose the skill to talk to day-to-day people. Through intelligence, they've also argued that we advance through intelligence, which is via search engines and online courses. It is amazing that more people can be educated, but what about the endless, uncensored content that is better left unseen? Lastly, they argued about the morality, that self-confident social media promotes more self-confidence. Our opponents are right in saying this, that it lessens the pain of missing someone, but breeds a generation of narcissists through social networking. If technology is advancing humans, it is only advancing those who have access to it. Helping some of the parts, when it continues to hurt the counterparts, does not advance the whole of humanity. Thank you, faculty, classmates, and friends, for your attentiveness today.